Evening everybody, Rich here back for part 2 of this MV Britannic tutorial. Today's focus will be the main hull of the ship, which is the black bit over there, as you can see on the prototype, the black hull over there. So that'll be that. I've also just going to show you the things I've done in the previous video, or since the previous video. I filled in the floor of the draft, so you got the whole red floor all filled in, so that's all that bit done there. I've not done the fin at the back, so that'll be for something later on. Maybe for later today, I don't know. But today's main focus is, of course, the main hull. So what we're going to do is start on the center. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to explain this quickly. When I usually build this, when it's a black hulled ship, I usually build it in white, so you can see where the position of the blocks, so you can see the curve and all that. If you're building this on PC, and you have welded it available to you, then this is fine, and you can build it in white as well and then change it over to black. If you're building it on console or Pocket Edition, all that, then I would recommend building it in black. While I build it in white, you build it in black, saves you having to go over it all again. You know, so you don't have any issues in that department. Just thought I'd explain that while I do this. What I'm going to do, like I said, I build it in white, but you build it in black unless you have the tools available. What we're going to do is going to go from the tip of the bow, and we're going to build up 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's your tip of your bow. I will explain as well. I'm going to do the bow first, and then copy and paste across, and then I'll do the stern later on in this video, because I haven't done the measuring out. Just want to get the bow out of the way first. But anyway, that's the tip of the bow. So it's 3, 8, and 6. So that's that. And also there's a yellow line to be added as well, but that'll be added at a later date as well. So we'll just get the main structure out of the way. So that's the tip of your bow. And I'm working on the left-hand side of the ship. So what we're going to do, we're going to head to the back end of the bow, to the widest part, basically this outside edge here. As you can see, it's the long straight edge. So that the front block of that, you're going to start building the back end of the bow. So this is going to be on this front block here. You're going to build up 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're going to build forward 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. That is 9, isn't it? Just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's 9 there. And then up 3 again. 1, 2, 3, or up 3 for the first time rather. And then 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 3 up again. 1, 2, 3, and then 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is the beginnings of the back end of the bow. So these two sections will merge together at one point. It's very similar to my Lusitania and Aquitania bows, and also sort of a hint of the SS United States, but a little bit more simplified than the United States one. So that'll be that. But anyway, just recap. It was up 7, forward 9, up 3, forward 9, up 3, forward 9. So that's that. And then at the end of at the front end of that 9, so at this front block here, the top 9, we're going to build 2 rows of 8. So we're going to curve back in towards the center again. So it's going to be 2 rows of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 3 rows of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 2 rows of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2 rows of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 3 rows of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 rows of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. And that should just about reach the tip of the bow like that. And it should look something like that. So that's one side of the top end of the bow. So there we go. And then on the top of the row we just built, so this all section we just built, on the top of that you're just going to increase it in height to 3. So basically just double the height, or triple the height rather. So just build another 2 rows of blocks on top of that. This may take a bit of time again, so apologies in advance. Do 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 do. Like I said, I do have World Edit available to me, but sometimes it's easier just to do things freehand. Never mind. And then the last two sections. And then the last row of 9. And there we go, that's the top line done. So it should look something like that. So bear with me a minute, I'm just going to sort fraps out again because it's going through that routine again. So bear with me a second. Okay, that's all sorted. So yeah, that's the top line all done. So now the next thing to do is basically, if I fly over to the prototype, you'll see how this is all done. Because we'll see. Because on the far side, which is hidden away, you'll see how the bow is done. So the top line, which we just done, which is the bottom 3 sections. So the bottom 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and above that is white anyway. So the bottom 3 sections is like that, and then the next section down is in sections like that. Then the next row is in sections like that as well, all 3 high. And then the last section, which connects to the red, is 6 high. So that's how it will look when it's done, and then that's how it will look when it's all coloured in properly. So that's what we're going to try and achieve today. So we'll see. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to head over to the first row of 9. I'm going to go down to the next row, so there's row of 3 here. And then we're just going to trace. So we've got the row of 9 here, go 1 block below that on the back end. And then we're going to trace the inside, like we did on the stern. Basically just trace the inside into the tip of the bow. So we'll just go from this block here, and we'll just trace along the inside of the bow. Basically it's the same dimensions, just on the inside. So 1 block inside, you can see the overhang there. So like I said, just trace and hopefully do it properly while I'm not. So I'm trying to do this quickly and explain it at the same time. I'm not doing it properly, but as you can see, this is how it will be done. And then just, so you don't have to do any counting then either. So you just trace all the way to the inside, and then once you get there, just connect up to the tip of the bow like that, and it should look something like that. You got the inside edge like that, and then like with the row above that, you just increase it by another 2 blocks in height. So that'd be 3 high or 3 down, whichever way you're working. And I do apologise if this takes time, but I'm trying to do this with as little video editing as possible. I don't really like doing jump cuts too often because it buggers the video up a bit. But I will have to do one eventually because I've got to remeasure the stern. But yeah. Then we go up to the end, and then the last 2 blocks there. So that's how that should look there, like that. So you can see that section is designed like that. So it's the same as above basically, but 1 block inwards. And that's how it looks there. So let me go up to the next section, which is over here. So we've got the first row of 3. So what we did, we went up 7, forward 9, and then up to this row, it went 3 up there. So from this row of 3, like on the previous row, we go from the, where is it, the second, basically the middle block of the 3. So you got the 1, 2, 3, and we go from the middle block. And then same again, we just trace the inside, or along the inside, and then it'd be all the way to the tip of the bow again. So like I said, there's no counting involved, it's just tracing the inside. And I know this isn't a very specifically detailed bow, but it's as good as I could do with my ineptitude involved. But there we go, up to the tip of the bow there like that, and there we go. That section is in place there like that. And then, like before, just increase it in height or depth, whichever way you want to go, and make it 3 high all the way along. Problem of doing things in a rush, you make more mistakes. See, I'm doing it again. More mistakes. And we're at the end again, and then just the last 2 blocks there, and there we go. That's the 3rd section done now. So it should look something like that. So we're getting the bow shape done. So yeah, that's how it should look, like that. So the last thing we want to do is, well, before we fill in the rest of the sections, is actually forget that. We're going back to the back end of the bow. Basically, from the front block of the red section now, or each red section, we just build straight up and connect to the bottom of the bow, bottom of the white hull. So just fill in this gap here, just to get you an idea of what I'm doing. This is another one of those time-consuming jobs because it's a lot of blocks involved, but yeah, it looks alright once it's done. So that's the first section. You can see we're just basically just connecting the red section to the bottom of the white section now, and then it should all look fine in place. So what I'll do, I just build the front block up for the moment. So the front block of the red section, I just build upwards. You can see it connects to the bottom, or it should, at least, if you followed this as closely as you possibly could to what I've been explaining, it should connect to the bottom of the hull. But my explaining and putting things into practice doesn't always work. So apologies if it doesn't always work, but you can always adjust it to make it fit. So there we go. So that's another section done there. So I'll come back and fill in these sections in a minute. I'm just building each section up a single line just to make sure everything lines up. So that's that section there, and then the next one, and then the next one. That one is slightly out, but not to worry. It's lined up. So if you do get one or two which are not quite lined up, there's not a disaster. There's always room for modifications. But most of them seem to be lined up, which is alright. And the last section should just pop down to there. And there we go. That's all the sections connected downwards now. So all you need to do now is just go and fill in the gaps. So I fill in the first one here, which is from the tip of the bow. Like so, and then, like before, just fill in the rest of them. Like so, that's that section there. So it's like filling in the ribs on the section below. I fill in the first few, and then do a jump cut because it's a time-consuming job. There we go. That's the first few done anyway, and then it should look something like that once it's all done. Well, once the first few are done. So I'll just do a jump cut now while I fill in the rest of them, and then we'll move on to the next project. So back in a moment. Okay, back again. Now I've filled in all the gaps in the hull sections, and now the bow should look something like this. It's not brilliant, but it will do, and it should Yeah, don't look too bad, do it. There are there are a few bits you can adjust. I mean, there is this section here which doesn't look quite right. So what you want to do, or if you want to, it's up to you. Just extend each section by another line of blocks. So just add 3 there, and then 3 underneath, and it should all line up quite nicely. So if you ever get sections like that, which I'm not saying you will, but it is likely the way I've explained it, then you can just add a few sections and it won't look too bad. All you need to do there is just go on the inside and then remove a row or two, and it all should look hunky-dory. So that's on the inside, that's how that should look. So before well, I'm not going to change the colour of it just yet, so because I've got to build the stern, but first I'm going to copy it to the other side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the old magic wand, or the wooden axe rather. So go from here to the tip of the bow and just copy, flip and paste. So from to there to there. That should be fine, and then we just go copy, and then was it flip to the RIGHT, and then paste. Yay, it worked. Right, there we go. So that's both both sides done. Sorry, I do get a bit excited when World Edit works properly. There we go. That's both sides then, and it should look something like that. So, like I said, I will change the colour, but not just yet. So we're going to head over now to the stern, and then piss about over there. But bear with me while I adjust fraps. So hang on a second. Right, that's sorted. So yeah, right now we head over to the stern now. And this is sort of an economy style stern because it's not very well. Well, it's not as designed as thoroughly as the bow, but hey ho, never mind. So it's one of my basic stern designs. So if you are a perfectionist in this department, then I apologise. There are a few assholes who think they're better, you know, just because they can make a stern all fancy and dandy, but they don't make tutorials for it. So there we go. Anyway, we're at the stern now, so we're on the outside edge of the stern. So we've got the tip of the stern over there, but we're on the outside edge here, the long line here. And what we're going to do, we're going to build up. I build it in quartz again, like I said at the beginning. I build it in whites, but I'll change it to black in a minute. So I build up in 3, so go 1, 2, 3, and then 2 rows of 2 up, 2, and then 2, and then 2 rows of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. So it's 3, 2, 2, 3, 3. And then you want 2 rows of 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should look something like that. So that's your basic stern curvature. And then, like on the bow, well, not on the bow actually, this is different to the usual, but the same design will be built on the front block or the end block of each red section of the stern, all the way around to the keel, or all the way around to the centre rather. So we do the same design. I use I do it freehand for a couple, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then 2, 2, and then 3, and 3, and then 4, and then 4, like so. So, like I said, on the front or the end block of each section, all the way around to the end. So I use well, I did it to copy paste it. So I just go from there to there, and then we'll copy, and then I just paste it in each section. So I paste it in this one here, and then the next section, and then the next section. So it's the same design on the end block of every section. Like I keep explaining. Missed one. And also, you see it starts to curve round, but don't worry, it's the same thing. Just build it on the end block of each section. Oh, missed one. There we go, round to the centre. I'll do the other side in a minute. But once you've added all those sections, or built them freehand, it should look something like that. It's not pretty, but it's a stern nonetheless. So that's how it looks like that. And then what we do, we go on the inside and we just fill in the gaps. So I'll start at the back end here and just fill in the gaps like so. the next section. So that's the first few sections done anyway, so you can see it's all filled in. So what I'm going to do now, I'll do another jump cut while I fill in the rest, and then we'll start on the next bit. So back in a moment. Okay, back again. Now I've filled in all the gaps in the stern, and it should look something like this. Like I said, not perfect, not beautiful, but it's not too bad. And on the inside it should look something like that, but that's one side done anyway. So what I'm going to do now is just do the usual thing of copy paste, or copy flip and paste, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So just go from down here to over here, and we just go to that one, try and get in line. We'll go copy, and then it's flip to the right, and then we paste it, and there we go, that's both sides done. And it should look something like that. As I say, it's not a beautiful looking stern, it's not overly detailed, but it will do. This is just a guide, remember. You can manipulate and redesign it as much as you want. So this is just a rough guide, so it's open to modifications as much as you want. But anyway, that's the stern done there. And what we want to do now is just fill in the gaps between the bow and the stern. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to straighten off these edges, and then I can use weld edit. So I'm just going to make this a straight edge vertically on both sides, and then I can just use weld edit to fill in the gaps between. So bear with me a moment while I do this. That's one side, and do the other side as well. I could have just done a copy paste, but I thought, sod it. I'm here now doing this. Yeah, so bear with me while I'm doing this. It's going to take a little while, but you'll see once it's all done. So there we go. That's those two edges there all straightened off. So I'll do the same on the front, but the front will be a bit easier, so I can just weld edit on that. So I'm just going to straighten off these front edges here. So we'll go from there to there, and we'll go set quarter. Then we go from that edge to there. So there we go. That's straightened off that edge there. So now the back end of the bow is all straightened off on one side at least. So I'll do the other one. So from there to there, and from there to there. So there we go. That's all those edges straightened off. So what I'm going to do now is just connect bow to stern, and then stern to bow. So we'll go from the top end of the bow to the bottom end of the stern. Down to there. Set quartz, and there we go. That's the one side done, and kind of looks like a big slab of concrete. But there you go. And we'll do the same on the other side, and we'll fly over to the bow. Splonk down to there. Let me fill that in. There we go. That's both sides done. So there we go. We've got the hull all done, and it should look something like that, in theory. So that's it in white. But what I'm going to do now is just change the color to black. So if I go from the tip of the bow, what I do, I build all the way outwards. So it's not going to look too pretty, but there we go. So do outwards just to make it wide enough. So I go from this block here to down the stern. So just fly all the way to the stern and just change it to black, and it won't take a minute. So I could have just built the sides on in black, 'cause I never really thought about that. But never mind. So here we are down at the back end. We just put another block on the ground here. There we go. Replace, was it quartz with black, and that didn't work. Missed out the L, didn't I? Right, now try it. There we go, that's all done. So now we have the hull all in black, and it should, in theory, look something like that. So what I'm going to do now, just head down to the front end and get rid of that other block that I left in the air. But the ship should look something like that once it's all black. I'll just head over to the bow and get rid of that block there. Like so. So there we go. The hull rather is now all there, but it's all plain black at the moment. There is a yellow stripe you can add. You can add it now if you want to. If not, I'll add it later on. But it is the fourth block down. I think it's one, two, three, four. So it's the fifth block down on the black hull. So if you want to start adding the yellow line, and it's a straight line that goes all the way along the side, around the stern, and up back the other side. So there's no dipping or curving, whatever, with the yellow line. So if you want to add that, then by all means, it's the fifth block down on the black. So just replace that with a yellow or orange or whatever. So that's the yellow line. I'll do mine off camera, so I don't have to worry there. So yeah, that's the hull all done. Actually, I'll start the yellow line. I just put it in place, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's there. So that's where the yellow line will start on the fifth block down. So I'll fill that in later on, but that'll be off camera. So anyway, that's that bit all explained. So now we'll just head back to the stern. Now I'm going to put the rudder in place, because I was going to do this off camera, but I thought I'd do this to get it out of the way. So I'll head over to the back end of the ship. And the rudder is, because I copied and pasted the keel from that one from the ship in the distance, I didn't actually build the keel freehand, so I ended up copying the whole rudder section. But if you build the keel properly, which is like I explained, then you won't have that slab in the place there, so you just have a solid line all the way along. But the keel, not the keel, the rudder, we'll go from the back end of the keel now. So the rudder will be 8 blocks long at the bottom, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And then it's 6 up, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so. And then the front of the rudder is up 3, so we go 1, 2, 3, and then back 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up another 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we join them together at the top like that. So that's the shape of your rudder, like that. It's basically a fallen over L shape. And we just fill in the gap in between, so you have a solid rudder, like so. And then from the front end of the rudder, you're going to leave a gap, and then you're going to leave a single block gap and just build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so. And then leave a gap above the rudder in this section, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 rather than 5. So it's 6, and then 4, and then 1, 2 up like that. So you got a gap between the hull of the ship and the rudder itself, and then we just fill in the gap like so. And then to connect the rudder to the ship, you can either use, I normally use stone slabs, but some people use stone wall or wood fence, but it's up to you what you want to use. I just use the stone slab for now. In this area, so from the where the rudder is attached to the keel, you can actually get rid of that block there, so the keel has actually been severed in that point, and then you can add the stone slabs for the hinges, like so. So you got the hinges like that, and then the gap between the hinges and the rest of the hull we just fill in as a fin. So we just fill in the red section above the keel, and it would create a fin, like so. We just build all the way along, like so. And there we go, that's all gone dark, but never mind. Put a light there, and there your stern should look something like that. So you've got the fin in place and you've got the rudder in place. I normally do the rudders last, but as it was a thing that was sort of hindering the design, I thought I'd add the rudder in. So there we go. That's the that section all done. So now we've got the black hull and the rudder all done. So that pretty much covers it for this part. I was going to add the main deck as well, but I'll leave that to the next part. So that would be for then. So yeah, we've got 2 parts out of the way now. And I do apologise in advance for any issues you may have during the build. I know I don't explain things fluidly enough, but you know, it's stressful sometimes. But there we go. Anyway, that's 2 parts done. So part 3 will focus on the main deck and the beginnings of the superstructure, and we'll see where we go from there. So this is Rich signing off, logging off, and disappearing, and I shall return in part 3. So bye for now.